husband's name is Fourman, and he's ex-soldier who left the army 2 months ago, and he was in Afghanistan for something like 8 months in 2008. So at first, when he was going there, he was quite inspired with the chance to serve his country, kind of to do something useful for the whole people. But then, kind of after seeing some terrible things, and he told me about like a little kid whose head was just exploded just because he was playing with this mine or something like that. And after seeing some people's death there, he realized that he just doesn't support the government's position anymore. And it's quite, as I understand, it's quite difficult to stay in the army when you don't believe in what you do. So he definitely has nothing against the army itself, but obviously the army has to do what it's told. So that's why he decided to leave the army.
Because I think there's no point whatsoever in leaving Western troops in Afghanistan. They're doing far more harm to Afghan civilians than they are doing good to the Afghan government. I'm not even very happy about the Afghan government.
How's morale?
He receives letters from time to time from his friends from Afghanistan, and they all say that the general mood of the soldiers is quite low because they don't believe in what they're doing, and the conditions there are far from perfect. And especially now, when Paul was in Afghanistan, it wasn't so dangerous. I mean, it still was dangerous, but at least people died not so often as it now. And now, nearly every day, we can see on the news that so many people die.
Yeah, it's a pointless war, really. We're not doing anyone any good, not doing us any good, not doing the people in Afghanistan any good. It's making life impossible for the people who live there, and it's just painting a big target on us for anyone who wants to retaliate. They're going to come here. It's no good for anyone. It's bad news, so that's why.
The reason we've come here is the situation in Afghanistan is so appalling now, and since the Americans and the British have been in there, what have they achieved in all that time? The suffering of the people has so increased so much, and the reason why we've come here to highlight our concern that the war is not the solution. We must speak to those people and talk to them and resolve the problem. At the end of the day, who's suffering? It's the people suffering there. And look at them, and it says how many bodies of British soldiers have come back in this country. What have they fought for? What have they died for? Okay, and I think the British public needs to know that the war is useless war. It's an unwinnable war, and we should get together, and Mr. Brown should listen to our views, stop this innocent killing, bring the troops home, and let's talk to those people, and let's sort the problem through negotiations. Okay, now it has spilled over into Pakistan as well now, and people are just dying, and that's why we're here to show the British government that we're against this, and that's why we're here.
Bring the troops home.
Okay.
I'm from Leeds in Yorkshire, north of England. I'm here because I think the war in Afghanistan is wrong. I think it's ultimately unwinnable, and it's not something that, as long as we're there, we're going to be able to truly benefit all the people there. If we're there as an occupying army, we're not really there with the people's full consent and full permission. So we can't be there to help them. We're only going to be in a position of hurting them and ourselves. Plus the fact for people of Britain, it gets to be seriously bad when you consider how much money is spent on the war and how much money is not spent, growingly not spent I should say, on the services we need, like our education, our public services, our health service for example. So for all those reasons, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I'm just here to say what is it the boys are dying for and the girls. It's kind of a pointless war. We're not achieving anything. It's a spiritual problem, and I think we need a more intelligent answer, not just arms and ammunition.
Because of the kids who are dying, the ones with the names and school bags,
Yeah.
the ones who should be known, the ones who should be known more, and their voices should be louder, and I'm trying to be a voice that is loud enough, maybe, here in London.
Going to protest because the war is stupid, right? We've sent over the troops there. We've been there for 8 years. More people have died than 6 years in Iraq. We've lost over 1,700 soldiers. We spent £40 billion of taxpayers' money on this war. And what have we achieved? A democracy that doesn't work, a corrupt system, and all we've done is killed over tens of thousands of innocent people. Innocent people have died for what? What have we earned? Nothing. What have we done? Nothing. We've spent money. It's all for greed. What are we here for? We're here to open up the world market, the free market, to another country that doesn't want it, so that America and all the other countries can go there. The other reason there is because Russia invaded it in the Cold War, you know, when America were the pirate-hungry capitalists with all the oil, and Russia were the nationalising banks. Now, America's nationalising their banks, Russia's got all the oil, and America invading Afghanistan. It all goes in a nice big circle, doesn't it? So, get the troops out, you know, stop the war. We want civil needs, not corporate greed. That's what we want.
Well, we've come from the London School of Economics, and obviously we have a history of kind of like activism and making a stand, and we just thought that it's time this stopped, and it's time as well the view that students are apathetic and they don't care, that it's time that stopped as well. So here we are.
Excellent. And what do people think of the war in Afghanistan and how it's going?
I think it's been going on for 8 years now, and like they haven't kept a death count of how many people have died, but you know, I think like of Afghan civilians, the most realistic estimate I saw was about 20,000 people. I think it's a horrendous amount for, you know, bombing a third world country, as an underdeveloped country, and it's making this country more dangerous rather than less.
Yeah, it's exacerbating the problem.
Okay. And what do you think about the current state of the economy and the amount that the Afghan war is costing Britain?
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing that we need to think about. It's not, obviously, the war is wrong for so many moral and ethical reasons, but it's also the amount of money that's going out to it that we should be spending on things. We shouldn't be undermining the welfare state and spending money on that to keep, you know, public services going and keep the economy going as well.
Yeah, excellent. And do you think the war's made Britain any safer?
No, if anything, it's made it worse. Britain was never really a target for extremists before the war in Afghanistan.
I just think it's ridiculous that we're spending billions of pounds, billions of dollars across the world when people at home and people across the world are starving and they don't have proper housing and they don't have proper health care, and all we're doing is funding these problems. And I would like to see funding rerouted. I would like to see us support the troops by not killing them. And I just think war is the most ridiculous thing in the world and it needs to stop right now.
Excellent.
Well, I think the biggest reason is that you know, that the government have just lost complete sight of, you know, why they're in Afghanistan. They've no idea what the solution is, so they're doing the only thing they can think of doing, which is just ploughing ahead on with the current strategy. They're going to throw more and more resources at it, more and more troops at it, but you know, without any realistic chance of them ever winning whatever they think they're going to win anyway. So it's just, you know, you can draw parallels with things like the Vietnam War, where, you know, it's just an endless, ongoing conflict with no end, and we just need to start bringing this to an end. And I think the first step is to get the troops out, or at least start talking about getting the troops out. Then we can really start, you know, thinking about, you know, what are the real alternatives and, you know, what are the other solutions.
Thank you very much.